Have you ever wondered about those who dream of a better life versus those who create it? Are you waiting to accomplish your dreams and goals? Welcome to Create It Now. With your hosts, Jonathan Stone and Dawn Elizabeth. For the next 60 minutes, we're going to put your dreams into motion and create it now. The phone lines are open at 731-1230. That's 731-1230. Or toll free 1-866-820-5528. That's 1-866-820-KLAV. Now let's bring on the host and create it now. Here is Jonathan Stone and Dawn Elizabeth.
Hello and welcome to the Create It Now radio show. And your host, Jonathan Stone, myself, Dawn Elizabeth. Hello, Jonathan. How are you?
Doing wonderful. How are you?
Excellent. Thank you very much for asking.
Yes, it's exciting. It's Christmas Eve.
Yes. Fun times.
Yeah, and we had a great weekend this weekend.
Yes.
So
lots of fun and exciting people that we met, hung out with, who will be on the show after the new year. So lots of exciting new guests coming up.
Yeah, and I got to run into one of my dear old friends I haven't seen in a long time. And it was a great surprise. It was my birthday weekend, and then Joey Fatone from NSYNC, who I've known for many, many years, just came around the corner. It was great.
Yeah,
and,
very cool.
Yeah, so he's planning on doing the show.
Yep,
eventually.
First thing he talked about was the radio show.
Doing the show.
So.
Apologize that he hasn't done it yet, but he's going to do it. I got to also meet one of my legends, like somebody that the first time I was ever starstruck.
Uh-huh.
A lot of people don't know who this is, but Joshua Bell.
Yes.
He's one of the most amazing violinists, and he did the whole soundtrack to The Red Violin.
Excellent movie.
And I was in awe.
Yeah.
That's
me,
awesome. That's not
yeah.
me, you know. I was like, oh my God, you're Joshua Bell, and
we got to work. Yes, thank you. I
know who I am. I'm like, but we got to work together. We got to do stuff, and he agreed. And
nice.
Paul Shortino. Oh, we got to give a shout out to Carmen and Paul. Yes. Carmen's uncle passed away last night at midnight, so our hearts and prayers are going out to them.
Yeah. Yes. Absolutely. Yeah, that was it was a hard time for them, but at the same time, I mean, the man lived an amazing life, long, amazing life. And so even though he did pass, it was still a celebration of his life as well.
The whole time they were filled with gratitude.
Yeah.
I mean, we got to spend some time with them this weekend as well. Oh, and also we want to thank Mark and Cheryl for inviting us to Rock of Ages.
Yes, so excellent show.
Yeah, Mark was great.
I love going to see shows that we know people in, just because then it's more than just a show.
Right, and then hanging out with them afterwards and just, it was a really nice time. And we're going to do some work and stuff together. They're coming on the show. I think what blew me away, how many people are doing the show next year. I mean, how many headliners and major politicians or, just people that have something to say, and, Sky and singers and gospel people and all the people we got to spend. And we meet Clint Holmes and... Yeah, it was just, what a weekend. Just powerful.
Absolutely. Yeah, I love it because, we're been planning and setting up for the new year to come, and 2014 is going to be amazing.
Right, and when you tell people about the show, they're so excited. Mm-hmm. It's like, Create It Now. Oh, my God. I really want to be part of that. How can we help?
Exactly.
And we're just invited to things nonstop. But every time we stop and talk to somebody, they're like, we want to do the show. We want to do it. What can we do? Here's our number.
Yeah. Absolutely. And, part of that really goes into what we're going to be talking about today. Right. Because a lot of times we come across obstacles or things aren't going our way. And so today we're really going to talk about things that we have to give up in order to move forward.
Right.
All these different people we're meeting and things that are happening. There's things that we're going to talk about today that we've had to do, and kind of these habits that we already had, fix them or give them up in order to move forward and create
change.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but also I want to say next week we have a special guest, Suzanne, who's flying in.
Yes.
I just can't wait. Well, there's 2 Suzannes coming in. Both of them would be a great show.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, but Suzanne Mikado, who was supposed to be on last week, and
right, she got sick.
So
she decided to fly in instead.
Like, you know what? Yeah, I'll just fly in and hang out with the team, the Create It Now team.
And the other Suzanne we should put on the show, she's an amazing woman with an amazing story. She was a Vietnam vet with a double mastectomy.
Yes.
And she's starting a not-for-profit corporation, which I think is amazing to help women vets.
Women vets, yeah, which is, it's a specific niche, but it's one that's needed.
Yes.
I think that's a great idea.
And so she's coming in as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So, 2014 is going to be amazing. We still have the rest of this year to get through, a couple more weeks, and a couple more shows for us this year, and then 2014 begins.
Yes, I'm excited about 2014. Yeah. I don't know, everything is just aligned and
ready to go.
I can't wait.
Yes, very cool. So let's jump in today. Let's start talking about our topic for the day, which are habits that we must give up in order to move forward in life, in order to get to the goals, get to the outcomes that we want. There's certain habits that have been created. Yeah. I mean, some we create knowingly and some we create subconsciously, but we need to know how to really recognize it and move forward through it. Yeah.
I agree.
So one of them is letting the opinions of others control you.
Right. And I think
living off of their opinions.
Exactly.
Instead.
And people might know your name, but they don't know your story. They've heard things about you, but they don't really know who you are.
Right.
And we get so into our head about wondering what other people are thinking. I don't know why that word just got stuck. And being so concerned about what other people think that it really doesn't matter. It means absolutely nothing.
An opinion is an opinion.
Exactly. If I want somebody's opinion, I'll give it to them.
Exactly. Yeah, so really not living for them, it's living for yourself and really making sure that you can correct their opinion. That's okay to let them, give them the correct information so they can create a better opinion.
But let's break it down. I mean, it's really what you think that counts.
Right.
What really matters is what you think about yourself. Yeah.
Do they or do you?
Right.
Yeah.
And so many times we put emphasis on the other people.
Right. And it goes along with what we've talked about before, where other people's opinions, if it's a negative opinion or whatever, it could be more of a reflection on them and not on you.
Right.
Even though their opinion of you might be that you're a horrible person, we'll just say.
Right.
There might be something from them in their past or something that they do or a fear that they have that it's easier for them to put you down than to see it in themselves.
I'll tell you something interesting. So I was thinking a lot of people, like I said, it was my birthday weekend, and then we have this get-together coming in the New Year's, and people were actually telling me who I could invite and who I couldn't invite. And I'm like, are you serious? And I was getting texts with lists of people that I am not allowed to invite because they are not good people. I'm like, these people have not done anything to me.
Their opinion.
Right.
Their opinion of
them.
Yeah.
These people, every time I've met them, they've been nice. I don't know them that well. I haven't really hung out with them, but I was so blown away that people were actually sending me texts about people that I cannot invite.
Yeah, and it's interesting because sometimes we fall into the habit of adopting other people's opinions without knowing the information. So just like that, like if somebody says, oh, person B is a horrible person, you may start adopting that even though you have no idea why.
Right. Like you told me not to invite Lawrence, but Lawrence is invited. I mean, he's our number one guest.
Yeah, thanks. Throw me under a bus that doesn't even exist.
Yeah, well,
that's your opinion.
That's my opinion was that you gave me the opinion not to invite Lawrence.
Darn it.
Isn't there anyone who knows what Christmas is all about?
Aww.
We love Lawrence.
Those.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lawrence. So anyway, jumping back in, that's just about the opinion. I mean, it's their opinion. You can't let it control
your life, right?
Can't let it form your life. You have to decide for yourself.
And move forward. That's the same thing. It's like somebody gives you an opinion, oh, you won't be able to do this.
Yeah.
You know what?
Most people's opinion is going to be it won't work until they see it work, and then they want to be on board.
I told you so. I knew that would work. I knew that would work the whole time. They all want to take, credit.
Yes, exactly. Another one, too, is to make sure that you're not procrastinating on those goals.
Right.
You want to make sure that the goals that are important to you, don't put them off. Right. Do it.
Well, you also have two primary choices in life. You accept the conditions as they exist, or you take the responsibility and create change.
Right.
You know, and I think that...
And don't sit and complain about it if you're not going to create change.
Exactly. But it's that simple.
Yeah.
Make it happen.
Right.
You know, move ahead, or just sit there and complain about it.
And, you know, a lot of times the reason why we procrastinate, it's because we're scared of the change or we don't understand it. And so we don't want to delve into it. So if it's something we like and a goal we like, it should be something we'd want to do.
Yeah, and don't give up trying to do something you really want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, you're procrastinating. When there's love, there's inspiration. So if there's something you love to do,
you're going to want to do it
exactly. And
every
be inspired.
Day, all day, all the time.
You can't go wrong.
Just go for it. I mean, if you're going to procrastinate, you're going to be in a year, say you get started on it, you're going to wish that year ago that you started.
Well, there's only so many tomorrows.
Right.
You know, and you got to remember that. There's only so many tomorrows. And then in a year like you said, you'll be like, oh, I wish I started that.
I wish I started that when I thought about it.
Yeah.
Exactly. And also, there's no someday.
Yes.
Someday.
Did I ever tell you my someday story?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, so many times people say someday. Like, I'll pay you back someday. Let's get to lunch someday. Let's go play tennis someday. Mm-hmm. We'll catch up someday. If someday was now, I would have so much stuff I needed to do.
Right?
Could you imagine? I mean, if you think about it.
Yeah.
Because everybody's like, someday. When is someday? Someday is now. Pay me back my money. Go play tennis. But yeah, it's such an easy thing. Oh, yeah, someday we'll get together.
Right. Someday doesn't exist.
It doesn't. No.
When people say that they're going to do something on their goal and they say, oh, someday I'll get to that, they're never going to
do it.
Yeah, you have to create a time, a date. That's why I always, whenever I do my seminars, we always talk about very specific goals as to the exact time and date it'll be done by.
Right.
So that way you have a deadline to it.
Right. And accountability.
Even to yourself. Because if you've written it down, okay, I'm going to do it by Monday of next week. Now, as Monday comes up, it's going to be inside your head. Right. Oh, I got to get that done. I got to get that done.
But that's what I think it's great to have an accountability partner.
Absolutely.
Somebody that you give your goals to or your tasks to. And
so they can check up on you and see why it didn't happen.
Right. And hold you accountable.
But also to celebrate when it does happen.
Exactly. I actually have a friend that he has an accountability partner, and what they do is they have the passwords to each other's Facebook and email. And if they don't accomplish their tasks, that person goes in and changes their emails.
Like their password?
I mean their passwords.
So they can't get in?
They can't get in until they complete that task.
Wow.
Which is harsh.
Yeah, but it's probably a good idea because
right.
On a flip side to that, thinking about that, how much time do people spend on their emails and their Facebook?
Right.
That if they took that time and just that time alone and put it somewhere else, how much they could accomplish.
Yeah, but I was just thinking about one thing. You know that one person who just got all their stuff disconnected is spending more time begging the person to turn it back on and apologizing than actually doing the task and getting it done.
Or they're like, oh my God, I got to get this done to get my password
first,
back.
you know, you got to try it first. First, you got to be like, oh, you got to justify it.
Right.
You know, you got to justify it like, oh, I was so going to do this. This happened. A bird ate my homework.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? So
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That is a little harsh, but you do need somebody, if you're going to have an accountability partner, you need somebody that will make sure they're helping you instead of letting you give an excuse or letting you just go, oh, yeah, it's all right. Do it for next week or do it for next month. You have to have somebody who will call you out.
And also somebody that you can discuss saying, look, I'm having hard times completing this.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any suggestions? Ask for help with that.
Exactly.
Don't just think you're failing.
Right.
You know, and that's that thing, and we'll talk more about that later, but about asking for help and change and because people would love to talk and give you help and give you advice.
I mean, it's part of our nature is to help others. And so we want to put that to a good use. But also, if you need help with something, ask. There are people who will help you.
Yes. We ask Lawrence stuff all the time.
Definitely.
And he just ignores us.
Right. Except for now, because we are going to have to go into our sponsors break. Let them speak. And you're listening to the Create It Now radio show. Don't forget to find us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter at Dream It, Create It. And we'll be right back.
Hey, it's Roxy from the 702 Rock Show, right here at VegasAllNetRadio.com. Listen to my show every Friday, 4 to 5 p.m. to hear about local artists, musicians, fashion designers, and more right here in Las Vegas. So tune in every Friday, 4 to 5 p.m. to hear me, Michelle Roxy Davis, right here at VANR on the 702 Rock Show.
Hi, everyone. This is New Media Vegas, your Sin City webmasters in Las Vegas, Nevada.
More than just web design, complete integrated marketing with inspired innovations in delivery of your new media message, putting the groove and the backbeat back in your brand.
The hottest in design trends with the latest innovations in marketing techniques. Call New Media Vegas at 702-517-0184.
Or visit us online at www.newmediavegas.com. Don't forget to check out our online magazine, Sin City Presents, featuring business, technology, fashion, dining, and entertainment news.
702-517-0184. 702-517-0184.
This is Les Brown, Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy. Those of you that are listening, I encourage you to listen to Create It Now, because it will teach you how to live full and die empty, how to begin to manifest your greatness and make your mark.
Create It Now continues. Join the conversation at 702-731-1230 or email create@createitnowmedia.com. Here again, your hosts, Jonathan Stone and Dawn Elizabeth.
Hello, and welcome back to the Create It Now radio show. Thank you for those of you joining us today, this fun time of year.
Yay.
And we're here talking about ideas and habits that we need to let go of if we want to move forward in life, if we want to get to the places that we want to be, reach the goals we want to reach, just different habits that we have and thoughts and mindsets that we have to let go of. Right. And we've talked about letting the opinions of others control what we do, as well as our own actions of procrastination.
Yeah, and like
getting
I said,
things done.
It really depends on what you think about yourself.
Yes.
What other people think, it doesn't matter.
Right. You have to go with your gut, your thoughts, and move forward with it.
Yeah.
And another one is to make sure. It's an interesting one because so many people have to do this. I see it a lot. And it's
go to the bathroom?
Yeah. even for me, I feel that at times I have to find myself stepping back, because there's times when we just have that need that we want to be right.
Yes.
And sometimes that can hold us back. Yeah. So it's that thought of always wanting to be right.
And here's the thing, even if you're right now, eventually you'll be wrong about something. You will be wrong.
Right, exactly. So I just see that a lot where it's, do you want to be right or do you want to get things done?
Right. Well, aim for success, but, never give up your right to be wrong. It's okay. That's the way you learn, is by being wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. So because
you're also when you're wrong, you're learning.
Right.
And that's the only way you can move forward in life.
Yeah. And it just, that one kills me sometimes when I could be in a seminar, I could be in a meeting, whatever it is, and somebody will have to be stubborn because they want to be right.
Exactly.
And sometimes you have to find ways to really change that conversation so that they can still feel right.
Before you go nuts.
Yeah, before you go nuts. But so that they can still feel right and still get to the goal at hand.
But there's some people that are so abstinent about being right. You could say, this is blue, and it is actually blue. And there will be, no, it's red, just for the sake of arguing.
Or even like it's a violet, or
exactly,
because they want to be right. And if you have to work with people like that, the biggest thing is to know how to deal with that.
Right. Well, that's why we have such a great relationship, because I'm always right. So.
Yes. Yeah. See, this is an example right here we can learn from.
Exactly. No, but it's true though. It's just like. Just listen and learn, I know I used to do this too. I mean, you pass in judgment when you think you're always being right, and you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
To be honest, I don't try to fake it till you make it kind of thing. I mean, you can't fake it till you make it, but I mean, in a conversation.
If you don't know, you don't know.
Yeah, I love it when I'm having a conversation and somebody goes, what does that mean?
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I've done it in the past because I'd be embarrassed to ask what that means. And now I've learned, you know what, let me ask.
But that falls back on the opinions of others.
Exactly.
People are afraid to ask because they're worried about the opinion you'll have of them for not knowing that information.
Right.
I'd rather ask. And even I can ask on the smallest things. I'm like, I don't know what that is. Please help me out. It's true. I do.
This is a toothbrush. This is a paintbrush.
Oh, right. So, yeah, I mean, just that need to be right.
Right.
It's, that's why I love, I know, we keep saying that word now. That's why I really love studying NLP, teaching NLP and communication skills, because you really learn ways to deal with people who have that need to always be right, even if it's a block to the goal you're getting at, especially in corporate situations, because you're working with groups of people that you don't get to choose who you work with. And there's always somebody in that group who falls under this category, who can't become unstuck from that thought.
And sometimes it's just not worth arguing.
Right.
You know?
I agree.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Did it again. You said it again. No, but that's what people do. They will sit there for an hour and a half arguing over the randomest thing because somebody needs to be right.
Yeah.
You know, and especially now with so much information at hand, you can look anything up too.
Yeah.
That's my thing. When somebody's like, when I know I'm right about something and somebody's just arguing with me, I'm like, look, and they'll be like, "Oh, I was talking about that other guy."
That's what I meant.
You know,
Oh, well,
then the excuses come down.
Right, and that's actually another one that we were going to talk about today is making excuses rather than making decisions.
Right.
So that's also another one, that need for an excuse over just make a decision and move forward.
Yeah, well, life is a continuous exercise in creative problem solving. You know, you have to make, instead of making excuses and decisions, you know, life, there's problems that come up.
Well, if you think about it, every situation that comes up, not a negative situation, but an obstacle, you can either create an excuse for it or you can make a decision to move on. Right. Take that responsibility and just move on.
Yeah, a mistake doesn't actually become a failure until you refuse to correct it.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah, I just came up with that now.
Yeah. No, I really like that.
Yeah, a mistake does not become a failure until you refuse to correct it.
Right. And it partially goes back to we create those excuses because we're afraid of the opinions people will think, you know? What opinion is somebody going to have of me if I was the reason something went wrong or I failed in my air quotes that I'm doing right now, failed in a venture that I was going forth with. What are people going to think of me? So now I'm going to create excuses. To that.
Exactly. And most long-term failures are the outcomes of people who make excuses instead of decisions.
Right.
You know?
Well, yeah, because people who make a decision to go forward, that issue that came up or that roadblock becomes this little nothing, and you forget it. It's forgotten about.
Exactly.
Yeah, except if you're going to sit and make excuses about it, all we're going to talk about is the problem at hand.
Exactly.
Okay? And no one's going to forget that.
Right.
Because you beat it to death.
You beat it to death, and it's like you can take this failure and manifest into this major event. You know, because that's what people remember. We're going to talk about that too, or events and moments.
Yeah. So yeah, excuses. Get rid of them.
Be done.
Yes.
New Year's resolution.
Get rid of the excuses.
Be done.
Start making decisions.
Right.
Move forward. Take responsibility if it is something that happened that it was your fault or a piece of. Take responsibility of it and move on.
Yeah, don't always have to be right.
Correct.
You know, just move forward.
Right.
I think Don had bad Mexican. What was that?
Whoa, man. There goes the stomach.
There goes all the Mexican listeners. Sorry about that. We didn't mean that.
Right. Oh, man. So also, too, with that, you know, instead of making excuses, make a decision. Also, choosing to do nothing.
Right.
Just stopping. That kills me when people are like, yep, didn't work, bye.
Yeah, you know what? You don't get to choose when you're going to die or how. You know, you can decide how you want to live right now.
Yeah, that's your choice.
Make a choice. You know, people sit around and they're like, yeah, one day, soon, I'll get to this. There we go, someday.
Yeah, it comes back to that. Yeah, I mean,
Be proactive.
That's part of why I got rid of my television, was so I wouldn't sit and do nothing in front of a television for 3-4 hours straight. I can be doing something else. Because a lot of times, if we're feeling like, oh, I don't want to do this right now, part of procrastination, we'll sit down and watch television. So without having that option, I have to get up and do something else.
And everything is so on demand now. You get caught up in watching the next episode,
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and every day is a new chance to make a choice. Do you know that? Like every day that you wake up, you can choose how your day is going to go or what activities you want to do. If you want to exercise, if you want to watch TV. So you have a choice.
Right.
You know, as soon as your eyes open, do I get up in a good mood? Do I get up in a pissy mood? Do I create?
Right.
Do I become lazy? What do I want to do?
And while you're talking on that point also too, I mean, being indecisive is not going to get you where you want to go. When you wake up in the morning, decide what you want to do.
Right. Well, also, I just want to go back to, you know, you have the choice to wake up negative or positive. You know, and it's really important. You can choose how to wake up and how you're going to create your day. And
it's like that in any situation. It's your choice how you're going to react to it.
Right. And like you said, you know, you have a choice about being indecisive, knowing what you want. Decide what you want. Yeah. And go for it.
Kind of what you say about like the menus all the time, you know? Right. Or it's like going to the movies. You go to the movies and there's 10 options. Just make a decision.
Yeah. Well, you'll never leave where you are until you really decide you'd rather be somewhere else. Until you make a decision to do it. Yeah. To go forward. You know, you'll be stuck in that rut forever. Right. Until you decide.
Until you make that decision.
Yeah. And don't being indecisive. Should I do it? Should I not? It's the same thing. Yeah. It's about choice.
Yeah. It kills me at times to go out in larger groups because the person in charge of the group will sit there and want to make sure everybody's pleased. And so they'll ask everybody's opinion and they they decide, oh, well, what do you guys want? Yeah. Just make a decision for the group, because when you have more than one person in the decision-making process, it's going to be a lot harder to come to one consensus. Exactly. So you always need a leader in those positions. Exactly.
And, you know, it's all about finding and pursuing your passion as well. You know, neglecting passion blocks creative flow. And about being indecisive, it goes back to that. It's just like, you know, again, not making that decision, not taking action. It's blocks. Right. You know, when you go, I'm going to do this, I'm not going to be indecisive about that. I'm going to make a decision to go forward, to make a change in my life. All this energy and everything, it just opens up. Right. And you flow.
Yeah, if you're happy about what you're doing and it's a passion of yours, it's going to be a lot easier to move forward and make those decisions. And a lot of these things that we're talking about today, they do kind of go away when you are following that path, that right path for you. When it's things that you have to do or you're in a place that you don't want to be, that's when these pieces really start coming into effect.
Yeah. No, I agree. And you have to make decisions because you need that positive energy. That makes you successful. Do you know that? It's like when you decide to create it now, make it happen, that positive energy that's in you will help you become successful, because success is positive energy. Right. You know, because positive energy that you've put in that work, you've put in that effort, you've got it done, you've created it, you made your decisions to move ahead and be successful.
Absolutely. I like that. And with that, I'm going to make a decision to go to a break for our sponsors. You're listening to the Create It Now radio show. Don't forget to find us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter at Dream It, Create It. And check out the website for a free business shout out at www.createitnowmedia.com. And we'll be right back.
It's an idea whose time has come. Full Circle Couture is the fashionable way to exchange and recycle clothing. Full Circle Couture sells all kinds of new and gently used clothing and accessories. They accept donations and exchanges for in-store credit. And Full Circle Couture donates the items they can't use to local charities. We support teachers through discounts and donations. Come to donate, stay to shop. Full Circle Couture at 9440 West Sahara, Suite 170, just west of Fort Apache. Find out more at fccfullcirclecouture.com. That's FCC Full Circle Couture, COUTURE.com.
Ben Bella Books is a publishing boutique that aims to be the publisher of choice for a select group of authors. Authors who value personal attention, a partnership philosophy, flexibility, and a creative approach to marketing. Ben Bella Books is a fast-growing, market-focused publishing house whose success is based on a few simple principles. They select their titles with care. They provide their authors with first-class service and partnership. And they provide aggressive, creative marketing for each title they publish. Find out more at benbellabooks.com. BEN BellaBooks.com. And if you're a reader, check out the many great titles available at benbellabooks.com.
Hey, this is Danny Vegas, and let me tell you something. When you're ready to stop dreaming and start doing, you need to tune in to my friends at Create It Now, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 3 o'clock in the afternoon to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Like I said, quit dreaming and start doing.
My name is Brandon Shia, and you're listening to Create It Now.
Those who can do. This is Create It Now. Join the conversation at 702-731-1230 or email create@createitnowmedia.com. Here again, your hosts, Jonathan Stone and Dawn Elizabeth.
Hello and welcome back to the Create It Now radio show. If you're just tuning in with us, we're talking about different habits that we have that we have to get rid of in order to move forward in our lives. Okay. And before we continue with that conversation, we just want to do a shout out to one of our sponsors, Full Circle Couture. You can check out their website at fccfullcirclecouture.com. And everything is $12.
$12. And we stopped by there today.
We stopped by today. I got an amazing CeeLo zip-up sweatshirt, which was awesome for only $12.
And it was so funny that it fit you because it was CeeLo's originally.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it was washed a few times. Okay. So check out their store. They're located at 9440 West Sahara at number 170 over there in the shopping center by the movie theater.
Yeah, and you know what? That's actually something good to talk about. Look at Kathy Denton, who opened the place, right? And she sells beautiful stuff. Mm-hmm. And she wasn't selling as much. So instead of being indecisive and worrying what she's going to do, she took action. And she's like, you know what? I'm going to slash my prices to $12. Yesterday she had a huge day. Today when we were in there, people were coming in. And $12, let me tell you, I mean, there's some high-end
amazing clothes in there.
Some brand names, like $100 to $300 articles of clothing and purses and belts and all that fun stuff. But she decided to take action. $12, anything in there, and you will be surprised how great it was. And that's, and she didn't get stuck because for a while she would be calling and texting, what do? I can't sell anything. Things aren't moving. And she made an executive decision and went with it.
Yeah. For those of you who haven't checked out Full Circle Couture yet, it's a thrift boutique store in Las Vegas that helps directly support the teachers here at Clark County School District. Yeah. So anytime you donate, whenever you donate or shop at the store, Full Circle Couture, it benefits the teachers right here in this community. So check it out. They have everything. They had Ed Hardy clothing. Right? They had an Armani suit.
Yeah, they had an Armani suit. Well, that wasn't $12.
That one's not $12. That one, I would have got
that. It was actually a tuxedo, but it was a little small.
Oh, yeah, a tuxedo.
But I think it was for like a 2-year-old. It was really small. I got my arm in it.
So it's a great store. Check them out. Especially for the holidays, this is your last day of shopping. It's a great place to...
And they have a lot of new items as well. Yeah, it's not just used items.
Nope. So it's a great place to spend less money and get more. So go check it out. Enjoy the stores. Tell Kathy that you listen to the Create It Now radio show and say hello to her.
Yes, and she will be there. I don't know why, but she's opening New Year's Day.
She is. She'll be opening on New Year's Day. She doesn't, because she just wants to keep helping.
Yeah.
And so this is her way of helping the community.
Now you can buy things for teachers in other communities, but the money goes to the teachers in this community. So we just didn't want to think that, like, if you have family in New York, you can still help out those teachers as well.
Yeah, so today we're talking about different habits and thought processes that we need to change in order to move forward in our life. And we've talked about letting the opinions of others go. Not the opinions of others, the opinions others have of us, letting go of that so that we can make our own decisions and not make decisions for them. We've also talked about being indecisive and not being indecisive.
And always the need to be right.
Yes, that need to be right. The choice that we make of procrastination instead of moving forward on the goals that matter.
Right.
And also, too, making excuses over decisions. Just different ideas that we have to let go of if we want to move forward in creating the life that we want to live.
Right.
You know? And another one, too, is you kind of started to touch on it before the break. And you were talking about the positives in our life, creating positivity. And a lot of times when positive things do happen, we tend to overlook them.
Right.
And we only focus on negative. So really not overlooking those positive moments.
And you know what? Oftentimes what you see is what you're looking for. So if you want to see something negative, you look for the negative in it.
Yeah.
You know, so turn it into a positive. Look for the positive.
Yeah, that's true.
In a situation.
You know, one of my favorite things is, you know, whenever I'm talking with somebody who's a little bit more negative or they'll always find the negative. So if you say, oh, it's a beautiful day out. Oh, it's only 60 degrees.
Right, exactly.
Right. So a lot of times I'll say to people, well, you know, it is 60 degrees and you're absolutely right.
Right.
I love this weather. So it's really flipping it around and it's like, oh, well, okay. You know, it's like they don't really, I agree with them. You're right.
Yeah.
That is true.
But you don't have to be right and change their opinion.
Exactly.
Because then you're sitting there for an hour and a half talking about the weather.
Yeah. So it's just really to not kind of let that negativity creep into your life. Find that positive side of it.
Look for the positive in it. Stop just always looking for negativity.
Right. Well, sometimes people will say, oh, everything's going wrong in my life.
Yeah. And you know what?
Why do you think that is? Because they're looking
for the negativity. Yeah. And you'll have a hard time ever being happy if you aren't thankful for the good things that are in your life now. If you're always looking for what's next, you're always looking for what's better, what's the next opportunity, instead of looking back, stopping, and being grateful and having gratitude.
Yeah, appreciate what's happening. Appreciate that moment that's happening.
Yeah.
When it is something positive, be happy about it, appreciate it, soak it in.
Yeah.
So that also, too, you kind of remember that feeling. So when it happens again, you remember that feeling, and eventually you can always have that feeling.
Well, like I said earlier, you don't remember days; you remember moments.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so if it's a negative moment or a positive moment, that's what you remember.
Right.
And you have a choice. Because if you go, what did you eat 4 days ago? I don't know. But if it was a brilliant meal, I could tell you where, when, who made it for me, what day, who I was with, and it was that moment in time.
Mm-hmm. Yesterday, I was talking with a few people. We had a small mastermind meeting, and they were asking me about when I was a dancer. They were talking about the show that's on television, Dance Moms or Stage Moms or something, and it's about young dancers. And the teacher that they have, she yells at them. She
berates them.
Yeah, and they're like crying and, you know, all these things. And they said to me, did you have an experience like that? Was that a horrible experience for you? And I was like, we cried all the time.
Okay.
We were always upset, but I absolutely loved it. It was the experience for me. Even though there was negatives to it, it was the positive moments that I remember. And I thought about that yesterday, that even though, because I've seen that show, and even though seeing it and that third party watching it, it was kind of like, yeah, I remember those days, but I remember the positive parts of it as well.
Nice.
So it's kind of just appreciative of that positive moments and really looking for those, as opposed to, I can remember the negatives.
Exactly. But enjoy the journey.
Yeah.
Enjoy the journey and what brought you here and what made you do it. And you know what? Say you do achieve your goals. You know what's going to happen tomorrow? There's going to be a whole new journey.
Right. Whole nother set of goals.
It's a whole new set of goals and a whole nother journey. So it's about just appreciating that.
Right.
And because I'm telling you, it doesn't matter what. once you accomplish one thing, you're on to accomplishing the next.
Yeah. I was helping someone who is an inspiring speaker.
Right.
And one of the things that he was stuck on was he hasn't completed his journey, so he didn't feel comfortable telling the story when he was speaking. Mm-hmm. And for some reason, it rolled off my tongue, and I said, your journey's not over until you die. Right. You're always going to be in your journey. You need to accept it and love what you're doing. Because if you're always waiting till the end, you're going to be gone.
And you don't know when that's going to come.
Yeah.
So every day is a journey. And that's what I was just saying. I don't care how successful you are, a new journey is always beginning.
Right. And one thing to go along with that is to not to be ashamed of failures you've had in the past.
That's the only way you're going to learn.
You learn from those failures. Yeah. Those are a big part of who you are today. If you didn't have those, whether they were ones you didn't create, they just happened, or ones that you were a creation of, the creator of, they're still how it makes you up today.
Yeah. Well, people put so much shame on themselves,
right?
With failures and stuff.
And they keep remembering that piece.
You will fail sometimes, and you know what? That's okay. The faster you accept this, the faster you can go on by being brilliant.
Right. Goes along with the other pieces of making that decision, moving forward. Failure is going to happen, and there's nothing you can do about it.
And your past doesn't equal your future.
Right.
So many people think, oh, my God, it's past. And it's that saying, if you drove the whole time looking through the rear view mirror, you're going to crash.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can't keep focusing on that. You can learn from it, though. You can make sure you've learned from those different things that have happened in the past so that you don't repeat it.
Yeah.
That's where the problem comes in, when people don't learn from it and they follow the same cycle and they have the same failures over and over and they wonder why.
Right. And look, people will fail every day. You'll fail. People failed yesterday.
Yep.
We're going to fail tomorrow at something.
Yeah.
We're going to fail next month at something, but we keep going.
Right.
And that's what holds you back. It's that fear of failure.
Right.
The more you fail, it's like every obstacle you hit, you get closer to your goal. Mm-hmm. Fail forward fast, as we say. It's okay to.
It's just like in sales, people are afraid to get that no or afraid to get that rejection. But once they've gotten the first one, they're like, oh, wait a second, that wasn't that bad. And they're able to go on to the next customer or the next potential customer. And if it fails again or they get that no, so what? They're okay with it. And then when they get that yes, it's finally that.
And here's the thing. You know what? I don't care how many times you failed. I don't care how many times I failed. It's what I'm going to do now and what I'm going to do with the knowledge.
Right.
And if people want you to fail, that's their decision. I've got to be the best at who I can be. And I got to create what I need to create. So, you know what? I might have failed a million times. And like I always say, it just takes one yes.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So just got to keep moving forward and fail your way to the top.
Right.
Just keep
going.
A
piece of that too, though, is to not run from the problems that need to be fixed. Some failures are failures. We learn from them and we can move on. Sometimes they're more of an issue or a problem that we need to fix in order to move on. So we can't run from them,
right, but
we want to learn from them and fix them and move on.
Well, because so many people, they don't want to face it.
Right.
They don't want to hear the truth. They don't want to deal with it. They don't want to absorb it. Once you get it and you actually sit there and dissect it and go, okay, what is the problem? What is going on? How do I fix it? It's so much better instead of I'll put it off till tomorrow. I'll put it off till tomorrow. It's as basic as when somebody gets a speeding ticket and they don't want to deal with it or go to court, and then it just keeps adding up and adding up. So all of a sudden a $25 ticket becomes a $5,000 ticket, and then they're in jail or something like that. It's because they just didn't deal with it. Or going to the doctor to find out
what's wrong,
what's going on. Mm-hmm. I mean, we've talked about this recently. Like I was on different kind of pills and stuff, cholesterol and stuff like that. So I knew that by going to my doctor. Then I made the choice that said I didn't want to do that anymore. So I took that problem and I faced it head on, and I created change to make myself healthier and what I want.
Right. Yeah, you can't run away from it. You have to face it.
Right.
And you have to move forward from it. But it's that fear that holds people back. Fear of the unknown, fear of what people are going to think if. So it's something that we aren't born with it. We learn that along the way.
Learned.
And we have to learn how to deal with it as well.
Well, we have a new motto. Fear does not belong here.
Sounds good.
I think we're going to keep that. No, fear is that. Fear is taught Prejudice is taught. Everything. It's all taught.
Yes. We've learned it along the way. A lot of it subconsciously. We don't even realize that we've learned it and that it's a part of our makeup, but we need to understand it so we can get past it.
Well, that's what I love about Mike Rayburn. What if? Takes away the what if I can do this? What if I can be successful?
It opens up the possibilities.
Yeah. Instead of going, oh, this is what's going to happen, then asking people's opinions. I mean, it ties everything back into today.
Right.
Making decisions, instead of excuses, creating things, going on your journey. And then create a new journey. I think that's the most amazing thing when you accomplish something and then you create a whole new journey.
Yeah. You hit that goal and you have another one ready to go to move on to the next step, next level in your own life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. Yeah, I mean, let's not run from it. Let's run for the future. Let's go for the goals.
Run through it.
Yeah.
What they say, run through the fire.
Run through the fire. Run on the fire.
Run on the fire.
On the hot coals.
On the hot coals. Yeah, don't eat them, though. Don't lay down and take a nap,
Yeah, no. Keep moving.
Yeah.
Very nice.
No, but Les Brown says that. He goes, if hell's fire, then I'm just going to run through it and get to the other side. Just keep running and not stop back and looking, Face
Good idea.
it.
Absolutely. And with that, we do have one last break we need to take and let our sponsor speak. Don't forget to check out the website at www.createitnowmedia.com. And we will be right back.
Blowing it out at Gene Woods Racing Experience, Las Vegas's newest premier outdoor adrenaline-powered gasoline go-karting track with speeds in excess of 45 miles per hour if you've got the balls. We've got 2-for-1 Tuesdays, buy one and your friend rides free. We've got $5 off coupons, and remember, on your birthday, members ride free. And they get a free Gene Woods Racing Experience t-shirt, open Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. till 11. Saturday and Sunday, noon till 11. And we're located at 121 East Sunset Road in Las Vegas Boulevard at the Sports Center across from McCarran Airport. Come blow the doors off your competition at Gene Woods Racing Experience. Once you race here, you won't go anywhere else. Be there. Be there.
The best television isn't on television. It's on the internet. Log on to realwisdomtv.com for thousands of hours of motivational and inspiring content. On demand, all the time. Unlike network television with its sex, drugs, and rock and roll, realwisdomtv.com provides wellness, wealth, and wisdom. From how to read faster to creating greater wealth, realwisdomtv.com is for you. The learning never stops, and neither does realwisdomtv.com. Log on now to realwisdomtv.com.
You're listening to the Create It Now Radio Network. This is Larry Benet, the Connector. Invest in your network, and the network will invest back into helping you. The more connection currency you create, the faster you get whatever you want in business and life. You're listening to the Create It Now Radio Network.
Welcome back to Create It Now. Join the conversation at 702-731-1230 or email create@createitnowmedia.com. Here again, your hosts, Jonathan Stone and Dawn Elizabeth.
Hello and welcome back to the Create It Now radio show. If you're just tuning in with us, we're talking about ideas and habits that we have that we need to give up in order to move forward in our lives, to get to a new place, the places that we want to be. And if you missed any of today's conversation, you can re-listen to the broadcast tonight on VegasAllNetRadio.com at 11 p.m. or find the archived version at www.createitnowmedia.com. And so we've been talking about these ideas, these habits that we have, and different ideas that we have to give up in order to move forward, get to where we want to be in life.
Well, I think we should recap them.
Go for it.
Okay, well, let's start with letting the opinions of others control your life. And I really like that. Because we get so in our head of looking good that we don't, it really doesn't matter. It means absolutely nothing. It's what you think about yourself. The shame of past failures. Cool, we failed. It's over. Now what? Where do we move on? Done. Being indecisive about what you want, figure it out. Make a choice, make a decision, make it happen. Go for it.
Yeah.
Same thing. Procrastinating on the goals that matter to you. Stop doing and making everybody else happy. If something's important to you, go out and do it. Make yourself happy. It's okay. We're giving you permission. It's the holidays. Go be happy, people. Choosing to do nothing because you have a choice. Do I do something or do I do nothing?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people choose to do nothing to make change because they're too comfortable in a situation. And that could be anything from life where you live, relationships. Make a choice. You always need to be right, which is Dawn's pet peeve. Yes. And Lawrence's as well, because we said right about 300 times during this broadcast. Just sometimes listen. You don't need to be right. It's the best way to learn. Running from problems that should be fixed. Face things head on. Deal with it. It won't get done by itself. It won't get fixed by itself. It won't be finished. If you have a flat tire, you keep driving with a flat tire, it's still going to be a flat tire.
And it's going to get worse.
Until you get out and you fix it.
Mm-hmm.
So make it happen. Make excuses rather than decisions. Because then a lot of people don't like to make decisions either. I mean, we do that. We joke around. What do you want to eat? I don't care. What do you want to eat? But make a decision.
Yes.
But people, don't make excuses about why you didn't do it. I'd rather tell somebody why I did do it or why I do like it instead of making an excuse, and then you have to figure out why, and then you have to justify it. Just do it. Overlooking the positive points in your life. Take a moment, or even when you wake up, reflect. And we talk about journaling a lot. You look at the good things in your life, even just a smile that you get at a grocery store, or just somebody shaking your hand, or thanking you, or you thanking somebody. Today when we went to see Kathy, she gave us a big hug, and it was really nice.
At Full Circle Couture.
At Full Circle Couture. There you go. Great segue. But you know what? It's really important to look at all the positive things. And the holiday season come in, and being around family and stuff like that, it's very fortunate. And not appreciating the present moment, too. People get stuck in that and making excuses. Appreciate where you are. Appreciate that you have the chance to make a choice.
Mm-hmm.
If you tie it up, that's the most important thing. Appreciate that right now, everything that you failed at or you think you failed at, you can create new. You can create change. You can take action and create it now.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it's a good reminder to kind of keep these in the back of your mind, write them down so that you always have them there so you can think about that. When you see yourself or hear yourself creating an excuse.
Right.
Think about that. Okay, let's make a decision instead. If you find yourself being negative, find the positive in it. So hearing it and thinking about these on a more daily basis can really help you change how you're moving forward so that you can get to the places you want to be.
Right.
All the dreams that you have, create them and get there instead of always having them as a dream.
And get your dreams and then create new ones.
Yeah.
That's the coolest thing. Once one journey's over, the new one begins.
Yes.
It's never ending.
Yes, I love it.
Yeah.
Very
cool. So I think what I really enjoyed about today, everything ties in together, and how we're really so in our head. And like I said, from people's opinions to making excuses, just wake up and start a brand new day. Create anything you want.
Yeah, the biggest thing that's in our way is ourselves.
Right.
And we have to make that decision to change that. Otherwise, it'll never change, and we're going to stay on the same cycles. So keeping different ideas in mind and really changing how we're thinking and changing our mindsets is going to help us move forward and get what we want out of life instead of needing to complain about it all the time. And when we are on our deathbeds, we'll be able to look back and talk about those happy times and the positive times as opposed to, I wish I had done this.
Right. And life happens. So just keep moving forward, keep believing, keep on dreaming. I think I just wrote a song there.
Nice. I like it. Very cool. So you're listening to the Create It Now radio show. If you missed any part of today's conversation, re-listen tonight on VegasAllNetRadio.com at 11 p.m. Find us on the website, www.createitnowmedia.com. And don't forget to join us again tomorrow at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You don't want to miss out. Great conversations. And we'd love for you to be a part of the Create It Now community. So dream big, take action, and create it now.
Have an amazing day.